The two most common objections that you're going to get as a new life insurance agent are going to be these two objections that I'm actually going to be uncovering for you in this video. I'm going to go deep into how to actually overcome these objections so you don't get these objections anymore, because I want to ask you a genuine question. How much money is not knowing and understanding how to overcome objections costing you? Like, really seriously think about it. When you get on the phone, when you don't know exactly how to help this person make a decision, and when they give you a stall, they say, hey, send it in the mail, I need to think about it, I need to talk to my wife, hey, it's too much money, I'm not interested anymore. Like, how much are these actually costing you? So I want you to think about it as you go, because the reality is they're very, very, very simple once you actually get the frameworks of them. And drop in the comments down below if you actually want the script, the word tracks to be able to go through with this, as well as figuring out, okay, once I get through this, what are the true objections that I'm going to be figuring out? Because the reality is these two objections, which is that I need to think about it, I need to talk to my wife, are just smoke screens behind the real objection. So I don't even cover everything in this video as far as like the next layer and how to find the real objections, but I'm going to show you guys how to get to those real objections. And then if you guys want and absolutely want me to go through and break down how to overcome the rest of the objections, right, the money, fear, or the logistics objections later in a different video, comment down below the word objections, right? I'll do another deep dive training just like this so you can actually scale. So this is actually me role play. There's a little bit of role play as well that you should look forward to. These are private one-on-one calls that I do inside my community for agents that are serious about scaling their business. If you want to learn more about that, click the link down below, book a call with me, and we'll talk soon. But enjoy this video to actually be able to overcome these two massive objections. I'm going to give you a breakdown on how to overcome the top two objections here, as far as the think about it and then also the partner objection, because the reality is when this actually happens, these are smoke screens. So when you hear them, the first thing that I'm thinking about and actually feeling is hey, there's a smoke screen that's coming up. There's going to be different objections that may come up later that we actually have to get to the root cause of, right? What's that going to look like? Going to be money, fear, logistics. We're going to figure that out as we go, but really we have to pierce through these objections, find the real objection, overcome that, find the real objection there, and then solve that. So we're going to go over think about it first, and then honestly the partner objection is going to be very speak to the wife or spouse or whatever, is going to be very similar as well, on how you actually overcome them. So I'm going to kind of walk you through this first, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, cool. So very first thing, right? So if you come in and you're like, hey, Johnny, I need to think about it. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Before you do go and really think about it, can I ask, in your own opinion, do you feel like this, what we went over about the policy actually can get you to the peace of mind that you have been looking for, or can give you the peace of mind that you have been looking for, or how do you feel? Because that's really the most important part to me. And they'll say, yeah, maybe, sort of, kind of. We'll assume that they do go positive here, and they're like, oh yeah, 100%. I definitely absolutely love the policy. I just need to think about it. And what does this actually look like, right? What are they actually going to say? They're going to say, I need to think about it. This might come in many different forms. It's a stall at the end of the day, but they might say, yeah, Johnny, totally love this. You're a great agent. You've been really good. I don't want to waste your time anymore. I'm actually going to go look at some other options and kind of see if this is going to be the best rate. And then I'll definitely let you know. Or they'll say can you shoot me over an email and kind of go over all this information and whatever it is, right? Those all encompass the think about it there, because there's a real objection on the back end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So that's really the think about it overall, what that actually is going to sound like. Not all the time they're going to be yeah, I need to think about it. It might come in various different forms, but you have to understand that the think about it at the end of the day is it's an umbrella that has a lot of different things that kind of say the same exact thing. It's all stalls and just delaying the actual decision. So yeah, that's not a problem at all. What were we gonna say?
Yeah, think about it isn't the real objection.
Yeah, exactly. But it might come in hey, can you send me over an email with all the information, or can you send me over a text, or I'm a logistics-based, I'm a numbers person. I just need to run the numbers in my head and kind of see if this actually makes sense. I need to look at the finances. I need to look at the budget, XYZ, to see if it actually is going to fit in or not.
Can you set the paperwork first?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you send out a policy to me and just so I can see it in writing? Like, these are all encompassing to think about it. So yeah, that's not a problem at all. So you want to lower their guard right away, diffuse it, and then you go into, can I ask, before you do go and think about it, do you feel like this policy that I actually went over can give you the peace of mind that you've been looking for, right? We're not going to say should, would, could, maybe, sort of, kind of, possibly. Do you feel like this could be the answer? We're not going to say any of that stuff. We're just going to go immediately to confirmation. That's the only thing that we want right here, is we want confirmation that this actually can actually give them the peace of mind that they have been looking for. At least like allow them to lay their head on the pillow at night, knowing that their family is protected. So they say yes, 100%. Okay, cool. Like, can I ask, like, what's kind of giving you that certainty that you feel like it can? Like, what about the policy do you feel like actually can give you that peace of mind that you have been looking for? And they'll say whatever it is. They'll say, oh, I love that it's day one coverage. I love that I love about that it's level premiums for the rest of my life. I love that the premium's never going to go up. I love that it's cheaper than my policy now. Okay, awesome. So can I ask, like, when you do go and think about it, what is kind of coming up for you that makes you want to actually go do so? Just to see if I can help while you got me. And so this is kind of like they're lowered their guard now. Now you're probably going to find the real thing here, and you want to find the money, fear, logistics, whatever it is, right? So it might come into, hey, it's really expensive. Then we know to go back to the price options that we actually pitched before, and we need to kind of go and actually pitch them a lower option. Or it could go into fear of like, hey, they've been scammed before, whatever, you overcome that. If they're afraid of like the insurance company, there's a few different fears that they might have here. So we got to kind of tackle those, but we want to find the real objection here, or it's logistics. Hey, what is that? What does logistics sound like? Yeah, I don't get paid till the 3rd. I definitely want to do this 100%, but I don't get paid till the 3rd and it's the 25th, right? It's not a problem. We just solved the logistics, and now we found the root thing that's like all encompassing to think about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, dude, for sure. Do you want to roll through this?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and so Austin, I don't really have much more to go over with you here. Really the next steps is what we do is we actually go ahead and see if you are approved, and actually get you this policy sent out to you, mailed out, and actually put in force. So how do you want to go from here? How do we move?
Yeah, I mean, I just probably need like a day or two to really think about it.
Yeah, 100%, Austin. And I can understand you wanting to think about it. Can I ask, before like you do go and think about it, do you feel like this actually can give you the peace of mind that you have been looking for, or how do you feel? Because that's really the most important part to me, Austin.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think you can.
You do. Okay, awesome. And what about the policy specifically makes you feel like it can, though? Besides you, like me coming with the policy, you know?
I think it's going to be able to pay for the burial, make sure my daughter doesn't have to come out of pocket for anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what about the policy specifically, though? Like, makes you feel like this actually would give you the peace of mind?
Yeah, I mean, just making sure that the burial is taken care of, really. I mean,
yeah, that's awesome. So can I ask, when you do go and think about this, what for you is kind of coming up that makes you want to do so, just to see if I can even help, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, really just need to make sure that it fits in the budget, that this is actually can be something I can afford on a month-to-month basis. You know, inflation's crazy, groceries are high, to get Social Security. So
yeah, and I can understand that 100%. Like, based on like kind of gut reaction for you, like, is this actually something that you feel like can fit inside the budget, or do you feel like it's a little bit like too much to where we need to lower the premium amount a little bit? How do you feel?
I don't know. I really just have to like look at the budget. I mean, it might, but I just need to double check.
Yeah, so money aside for a second though, like, do you feel like this policy actually can and will give you the peace of mind, assuming it did fit in your budget? Yes or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, it will. Awesome. So as far as the fitting inside your budget, I mean, you picked out the $100 plan, which we can definitely go with. Why don't we do this? Like, would it be helpful to actually move down to like an $80 a month plan so you can actually protect your family and at least have something rather than nothing? Would that help you?
Yeah, that would help.
Okay, awesome. So why don't we start there? We'll start at the $80 one, which would be $12,000 in coverage, still make sure the burial is taken care of. And then we'll actually go ahead and see if you do get approved. Go ahead and go through that. And then if you want later down the line, you can increase it later. Sound fair enough?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And what's the best address to mail this policy out to, right? So that's kind of how you go through that, and is make sure that, okay, boom, we got that. We got everything we wanted. Now we're rocking and rolling. Cool.
I like it.
All right, brother. So next thing is they might give you a maybe here. And so this is something that we want to kind of look through and kind of figure out, okay, if they say maybe, possibly, sort of, kind of, may, whatever it is, right? If they say anything less than like certain and there's not actually certainty in them, then we want to go negative. So when you hear negative, when you actually ask, can this actually give you the peace of mind that you have been looking for? And they say, may, like whatever it is besides like 100% certainty, you want to go negative and flip it back on them. Okay, awesome. When you say possibly, it sounds like you're in the middle, which is totally okay. But like, Austin, can I ask before you do go and really like, before we do talk about like what you are sure about the policy, about it actually giving you the peace of mind, what parts of what we went over specifically makes you feel like it can't? And then you say whatever it is. Oh, like typically what you're gonna hear is like I mean nothing really. I mean everything about it sounds pretty good. Okay, awesome. So like what like specifically we went over actually makes you feel like you actually can, like this actually can give you the peace of mind that you have been looking for. And then they'll say XYZ about the policy. Okay, awesome. So before you do go and think about it, can I ask in your own opinion, or before you do go away and really think about it, can I ask like what's coming up for you that makes you want to do so, just to see if I can even help? So there's a positive side and then there's the negative side. So we want to make sure to cover both because it could go either way, but now we're into a different conversation. Now we're in, it's too expensive. It's a money concern. It's a fear concern. They're not sure if this policy will give them the peace of mind, XYZ. But the very first thing that we want is a tie down and then a double tie down that this actually can give them the peace of mind. And then we kind of figure out the other things from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So then the next thing is like, okay, once we have that, once we're rocking and rolling from there, then it's like, okay, then we need to figure out the partner objection, because it might go to partner, it might go to like a spousal objection, like, hey, I need to talk to my wife. With all due respect, I talked to my wife about all these types of decisions, which is totally okay, right? However, we need to kind of overcome this. We want to make them feel heard and acknowledge it, but we don't want to validate. Does that make sense? So like if they give you like, hey, I'm not sure if this is a scam or not, and you say, yeah, I wouldn't buy anything over the phone if I was you either. It's like you just validated it, right? But I've heard it multiple times of agents actually doing this. So we want to avoid that. Or like, yeah, I never would ever make decisions without talking to my wife as well, right? Like you don't want to validate it. So when you go to a partner, it's very similar to exactly what you did before. Yeah, can I ask like, Austin, before you do go and actually talk to your wife, just so I understand here, like, do you feel like this policy actually can give you the peace of mind that you have been looking for you and your family? Yes. Okay. Why though? Why do you feel like it can? They say whatever. Okay, awesome. So when you do go to your wife, do you feel like she would actually want you to have peace of mind knowing that she's actually taken care of when you do pass, or how do you feel? And now they're going to be like, oh, I mean, of course she would. Like, why would she though? Why would she actually want you and your family to have, like, why would she want you to have peace of mind knowing that like you're taken care of at the end of the day? And they'll say, oh, because like she cares, she whatever, XYZ, whatever it is. Okay, awesome. So I guess like, is there any reason why she wouldn't actually want you to have peace of mind at the end of the day, and like wouldn't want to actually be protected when you did pass? And you kind of like see how my face was like, did pass? You're just making sure, like, I mean, is there any reason why she wouldn't like actually want you to have peace of mind? And then also like her to be protected when that time did come? Okay, awesome. So now in spouse objection, this is where you go back. A lot of people, and this is a very, very, very important thing that you want to know, or you want to make sure that you understand. Okay. A lot of people, what's the natural thing that the next question is going to be? Okay, when you do go talk to her, what's the kind of the conversation going to be about, just to see if like I can even help, or like what are you wanting to talk to her about, and what are they going to say? It's a classic.
Just want to make sure like the money's right.
Well, yeah, they're going to say like what they're going to say is, I don't know, I haven't had the conversation yet. That's why I need to talk to her. Right? So you don't want to go forward, you have to go backward on these things. You have to go back to go forward. So now what you do is you go to past, like a lot of, like Alex Hormozy talks about, like go to past agreements. You just want to go to past like things that they have made decisions on for something like this. Okay, awesome. So in the past on decisions like these, is there any specific reason why like that has prevented you from moving forward on something like this in the past? And the reason why you ask that is because you want it to go to money, fear, or logistics. You want to funnel it down even more to figure out what the root issue and root cause is. Okay, cool. So from where like you're at right now, it sounds like it's more a case of like just actually talking about the money and making sure that we can actually get you the policy rather than like you asking for permission from her. Is that fair to say? Yes. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So now we're into a money conversation, right? Do you see how I did that? Like I just kept funneling it down to like money or fear or logistics.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So then you're going to go to, okay, now you're money, fear, logistics. That's a whole separate like training that we can do. But really like the goal is to find the root cause and root issue of this whole thing. Is to find the money, is to find the fears, find logistics, figure out exactly what's coming up for them that is preventing them from moving forward. Because they just said and mentioned earlier that yes, 100% this actually can give me the peace of mind that I have been looking for. So then it's just a legit, like it's a logic trap. Like, okay, you're saying this is and will give you the peace of mind that you have been looking for. So like, why wouldn't you want to make sure your family is protected now? So that's really like the like how to overcome the think about it and then overcome the partner. It's very similar frameworks, but if you can understand this right here and really be able to pierce through and actually find the real objection, then you can be able to overcome it at that point. So what questions about kind of what I went over do you have questions about? Like about overcoming it specifically? Is there anything that like you feel like you need help with, or like what would...
Question. So it's like if you get to think about it, there's 4 things that can be underneath the umbrella, right? It's partner, money, fear, logistics.
Yeah, so once you get to think about it, it's going to funnel down into 4 different ones, but 3 of them are real objections, and then there's the partner or the spouse objection that is a smokescreen. So you just want to pierce through that and then find the real ones, which is money, fear, logistics. Yeah, you want to put it that you want them to get away from casting the burden onto somebody else, and you want to find out pretty much what the conversation is going to be about, if there even needs to be a conversation.
Okay, that makes sense.
And at the end of the day, like, you can use a responsibility type frame there as well with a husband, as far as like who is going to be responsible at the end of the day. If you do pass, is it going to be you or her? It's going to be her. Okay. So, or it's going to be you, right? At the end of the day that you're going to be responsible for that. So like from here on out, when that time does come, who's responsible for actually paying that? It's going to be her, but that's going to actually fall on you. So what decisions do you feel like you need to make to be able to actually make sure that she does have the protection and peace of mind that you want for her? And then you kind of get into like, okay, I'm the man, I'm making the decision, or the woman, she's empowered to be able to be the caring mom that she actually wants to be when that time does come. So then you kind of empower the person. They're empowered, they're ready to make a decision. Now we figure out, okay, what's really holding them back? What's really coming up for them that is preventing them from moving forward? So that's really like the think about it spouse objections. Again, just to recap, it's a smokescreen. Then we move into really what the next steps are, and that's going to be a whole separate training that we're going to do. But that's really like at the baseline premise, how you actually overcome the think about it and partner. So if you loved this training, drop in the comments down below if you loved it, or tell me if I should never do a training like this again. Follow me on Instagram, and also watch this video right here if you loved this video, and I'll see you guys in that next video.